Yo, what is going on, guys? J.Yumeko here, and today we're finally back with some more House in Fata Morgana. I know it's been, like 15 days since I last posted. I honestly have no excuses. Majority of it is just pure fucking laziness. I'm not even gonna try and hide it. But I swear to you, for the 500th time, that at least for these upcoming 3 to 4 weeks, let's just say 3 weeks. Let's say 2 weeks. Let's say 3 weeks that I should have a more consistent upload schedule. I am going to travel for a little while, so I'm trying to get a couple of videos, a handful of videos pre-recorded, so I can go ahead and schedule those to come out. But without further ado, let's jump right on into it. As for where exactly we left off, it genuinely has been so long that I don't exactly remember. Okay. So, oh yeah, I do. It's coming back to me now. So now we're seeing the perspective of what actually happened. Oh, that is very loud. But now we're actually seeing what actually happened. Between Michael and not the white-haired girl, but Michael and the black-haired maid, because I think it was a whole thing where the white-haired girl was actually the black-haired maid, and it was a whole thing is what I'm trying to get at here. But yeah. So they were back as Michael now. Wah. Stay with me. Are you alright? Where did we leave off? Jesus. Oh, I think she like fainted or something, right? Yeah, she fainted. Oh, thank goodness you're awake. How's your head? Can you see me? What? You had me scared silly there. I thought I might have lost you for good. I'm glad you're alive. Where am I? And who is this man? What was I doing? Oh yeah, she found something out. Fuck, what did she find out? Okay, so just kind of me mentally recapping here. I remember that the reason that she ended up at this manor was because basically her father had died. They were merchants. So her sister and her mother were all kind of struggling to get by. Her sister was trying to marry a rich guy, couldn't marry the rich guy because they weren't rich themselves. So then she was approached by, I believe, Michael's father to work as a maid in his house. At first, it seemed like a good deal. He was going to take care of his sister and her mother, of her sister and mother. So it seemed like a pretty good deal. She went to work there. The guy raped her for lack of any kind of appropriate, for that being the only appropriate way to put it. So yeah, he did that to her, basically threatening that, hey, if you don't, stick with me and keep doing this, I'm going to kind of screw over your mother and sister. So she kept doing it. Eventually, the lady of the house, senile as she was, found out and then she was pretty much expelled from the house to try and keep everything under wraps. So in a very weird way, it kind of worked out. She had some hope going on in her, like, hey, maybe this will be a nice new start. Ended up at the manor with Michael. Michael is not the romantic guy that he came off to be in the initial telling of this story. He's a complete fucking jackass. Really is what it is. So, eventually she's kind of gotten pushed to this point. I believe there was something more significant that happened than that. But anyways, she's at a point now where she's kind of like, is this even really worth it at all? Maybe I should just go ahead and die. Maybe that would really just be better than dealing with any of this other shit going on. So, again, there was something more significant that happened than just that. But it's blanking on me right now, so we might have it recalled to us then. Okay. What was I doing? You feeling up for any food? You can whip up some porridge for you real quick. I was in the forest. It was raining. Before that, I was at the mansion. I feel sick, like there's something in my stomach. No, thank you. I don't want anything. You really should have something. You need to keep up your energy, unless you want to conk out again in an hour. Sounds good to me. I'd rather never wake up at all. You're not in the highest of spirits either, it seems. All the more reason to get something warm in you. Please, have something. I've got some milk on the fire. I bet you can handle a cup of that. You start losing all hope once the cold gets that deep in you. Reaches down to your core. Take my word, please. Just one sip. You feel like a whole new gal. Who is this mysterious stranger? A heart-wrenchingly pleasant aroma wafted up with the steam from within the wooden cup. Succumbing to the sweet smell, I lifted the cup to my lips for just one sip, and the warmth that spread through me brought tears to my eyes. Perhaps there really was kindness in the world. A ripple spread across the surface of milk. I heard a gentle sigh come from the man beside me, after which he said with a smile, "You should take it easy for the day." I'd lost the willpower to think about anything. I didn't care what happened to me or why I was here, who he was or even where this was. I spent the whole day in bed, just watching the sun slowly slide across the wooden floor. It felt like I was somewhere far, far away. At times I felt like a lost child, and at times like a sickly old woman on her deathbed. Watching the sun travel gave me a renewed awareness of the passage of time, and the fact that each moment that went by was another moment I was alive. I realized then that it had been a while since I'd gotten more than a brief glimpse at any sunlight. It almost surprised me how colorful the world seemed beneath the sun's light, something I didn't get much of in the dark mansion. Only after losing something do you realize how much you need it. Warm milk, the light shining through the window, and a bed that smelled like springtime. With those three things, my heart slowly began to defrost, and I started to regain the willpower to stand on my own 2 feet. Okay, it came back to me what happened. So basically, in an attempt to get closer to Michael, we went into his room, which we were explicitly told not to do. Before this, Michael, from the get-go, had suspicions about why we were there. He essentially thought that we were there on behalf of his mother, essentially to spy on him, kind of dealio, or at the very least to get close to him for money. That was kind of the suspicion that he had. So she snuck into his room to try and get a better idea of kind of what was going on with him. She came across the painting of the white-haired girl. So come to find out, the white-haired girl is actually Michael's sister, who seems to have died. So she uncovered a ripped-up portrait of her. Michael came in the room and was like, "What the fuck are you doing in here?" He kind of went fucking crazy. And I think we got stabbed. Did we not get stabbed? As far as I can remember, that, he had a knife up to her, and that kind of brought back a lot of memories. I forget if she got stabbed or not. I feel like I remember her getting fucking shanked. But anyways, that's what kind of led us to this point. Thank you for everything. You sure you're in any shape to be on your feet? Yes, I'm fine. I'm not hurt. You looked pretty beat up to me. But you look a lot better now, and you're talking a lot more clearly than before. You've been very generous, despite having never met me before, and for that you have my deepest gratitude. Without your help, I would no longer be in this world. I don't deserve your thanks. You're alive now because God's guidance made it so. God. I came across you early this morning as I was heading into the forest to hunt. I imagine my surprise seeing a young lady like you on the ground in my path. What were you doing in the forest? You don't have to tell me if you'd rather not. Everyone's got their own share of personal problems.
You're not going to demand I talk?
I have no reason to force you to do anything. You looked like you'd been to hell and back.
What?
I could tell just at looking at you. Now then, do you have somewhere you can go?
Somewhere to go? Of course I don't. I can't go back to the capital or the mansion.
If not, then why don't you stay here?
Here?
Sure, it's a small village. We're self-sufficient and we all help each other out. No tax-hungry lords know we built the place up either, so we keep everything we make. We're pretty remote as a result, and the harvest isn't fantastic, but I'm sure you'll find it comfortable here. The rest of the villagers will be glad to have you. What do you say?
Sorry, Mom. What I'm about to do might make the rest of the family's lives more difficult. But I don't want to have to feel any more pain. If I really wouldn't be inconveniencing you, if it's really okay, then yes, I would like to stay here.
That's great to hear. I was loath to send you back out there in your current condition. I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? The name's Amadi, just one lowly villager of many.
I'm Giselle.
Giselle? That's a beautiful name. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a vacant house. Clean it up and you can call it home.
I couldn't possibly ask for that. I doubt others would like it if I just took a house for myself.
That shouldn't be an issue. I'm the village's representative, more or less.
A representative? Like the chief?
Only in name, though. As I mentioned, we're not on any lord's maps, so I don't have much representing to do. The only reason I ended up in charge is because I'm a bit more educated than everyone else. It was a long time ago, but I understudied with the priest. Because of that, I'm familiar with the Bible's teachings. So rather than a chief, the people of the village look at me more like a priest. Wouldn't be much fun if the church found out about that. They're liable to think I'm acting unordained.
Then you believe in God?
That's quite the question. Of course God exists. He's always watching over us. That's why you survived, because he protected you. I understand that your faith can waver when you're going through times of tribulation, but those are the times when it's most important to keep sight of who you are.
Right.
Now, you get some rest. Tomorrow I'll show you around the village.
Thank you. I truly mean it. I really sincerely appreciate everything.
Don't mention it, Giselle. This is your village now too, so you don't need to act like a stranger anymore.
Okay.
Damn! Amadi!
So he's Amadi. He seems like a nice man. Maybe here I can live in peace. It'll be alright, I'm sure. Yeah. I wasn't silly enough to believe my life would be perfect, but I had found a tiny fragment of my lost hope. While I'd once been ready to give up on absolutely everything, I was starting to feel like I might be able to smile again eventually, like I might be able to get back on my feet. And in order to do that, I had to cast aside my past once more. Forget everything that had happened at the Bollinger estate, and everything that happened at the mansion. Forget about Michael. There was one niggling curiosity, though, that I couldn't shake. Something he had said before I left.
My very existence threatens to tear down that house. The cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family, Michael, who made a pact with the devil, who's supposed to be dead but is very much alive.
What had he meant by that? Why would people think he was dead? No, I don't care about Michael one bit. Forget it. Forget everything.
And we're back with Michael. Oh, God. Whew, okay. So, obviously, if you haven't noticed by the patterns, this is not going to end very happily. So, I'm just bracing myself for that. The house was, as it had always been, wrapped in a thick silence. Giselle's shadow, which had been lurking in the halls for about a month, was nowhere to be found. She hadn't come back since running off that day. My secret was still safe. Her efforts had, in the end, all been for naught. Back to the way things were. But despite my mind telling me that it was for the best, I felt a kind of guilt seething in the back of my chest, and any attempts to figure out why only made me feel worse. But the look on her face then.
Please, hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring you harm in any way.
Was that really just her putting on an act because I revealed her scheming? She was screaming, though, and she looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. I'm not falling for anything. I feel like I know that frenzied panic. Something doesn't add up. Be quiet. Oh, silence, please. My head was pounding beyond belief. I couldn't stand anything. This world, the creature I was, the witches whispering. The archangel looking down upon me seemed to be cackling from somewhere far out of reach. So for now, whatever it was worth, to escape from his gaze. I once again drew the drapes of the stained glass window. I do want to check something real quick. Hold up. There's a way to check. Let me get to my logs. Okay, let's see. Backlog. Oh, okay. I thought they were gonna do another one of those things with the backlogs changing.
Whoa, it's someone new. Hey, where you're from? Where? You gonna be here long? Are you?
We hardly ever get visitors here, so they're downright awestruck by you. You'll be getting a lot of attention for a little, but please don't let it get to you.
No, that's just fine. I'll do my best to get along with everyone.
You've got a spark in you that wasn't there yesterday. Anything in particular that cheered you up?
In particular, once I decided I was going to stay here, I just sort of started feeling better about things. And I figured I couldn't stay gloomy forever.
I see. Glad to hear it.
And it's all thanks to you, Emily.
Keep thanking me like that and my cheeks might get stuck red. In any event, I said I'd show you around yesterday, so how about we do that?
Lead the way.
That said, we're a modest little village of about 100. Everyone knows everyone.
For that size, it looks pretty big to me. Emily taking the lead, we walked through the village, passing by crop fields and milk cows, presumably shared among the villagers. Houses were scattered across an area that seemed far too large for only 100 people. Actually, getting a better look at them, the buildings were dilapidated, looking more like ruins than residences.
Once upon a time, this was a city, rather than a village.
When your ancestors lived here?
Oh no. We were drifters fortunate enough to come across some of the decent-looking land, so we stuck around.
How do you know what it was like before then?
There are a few stone tablets left behind, and based on what we were able to extract from the text, this area used to be a large city with a booming economy rivaling that of the capital. There weren't hundreds, but thousands of people bustling about. Merchants from afar came in droves. It was much like how the capital is now. Actually, this area was more open to foreigners. People of all different races speaking as many different languages. It was evidently quite the sight, and sound.
I had no idea there was a city here.
That's what happens when a place is wiped from history. I couldn't tell you how reliable the tablets are. But if you take them at their word, this city lost everything in just a single week.
What?
People, crops, livestock, all dead. Maybe it was a natural disaster, a famine, a plague. I can't say for sure. This is what the tablet said, though. Oh shit. We've been cursed by the witch.
Cursed by the witch?
Look over there. You see that river? There used to be a magnificent bridge crossing it, but there's hardly anything left of it. If you continue along the path beyond the fallen bridge, it's a forest. That's where I found you. The deeper parts of the forest are so dense you can't see anything but tree trunks and leaves. It's an eerie place wrapped in a cloud of darkness. If you make it through that, there's a mansion, which is said to be cursed. The witch who supposedly destroyed this city lives in the house deep in the forest. She's been there for years and years and years, and she casts curses on anyone who goes near it. The city was so large that the mansion was actually in its borders. My guess is the bridge was built to mark the road leading to it. And now, as you can see, the bridge is gone and the house is still standing or practically in ruins. But the mansion alone looks just as it did back then. The witch living in the mansion goes by the name Morgana. According to the records, someone by that same name was executed in this area for witchcraft, and even in death, she continues to bear her grudge against mankind. Who knows how much of it's true, though? Truth or fiction, the story's taken root in this region. The city's history may be lost, but the legend of the witch continues to be told. People have a tendency to keep stories alive that scare them. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you.
No, I'm fine.
You're best staying away from the mansion and the forest at any rate. There's no saying what might happen if curiosity gets the better of you. Better safe than sorry if you ask me. Aside from the mansion, this is as peaceful a village as you'll find. I don't know where you came from, but I'm glad you didn't end up wandering there.
I know all about the mansion and who lives there. I was there, after all, with Michael for a full month. But I don't remember any cursed witch. Just a man with a bone-chilling glare. Maybe the rumors about a witch living there was spread by him, or perhaps even his family. I could see them doing that. But none of that matters to me anymore. I'm never going anywhere near that house again. The witch's curse, Michael, they're nothing to me. With nowhere else to go, I ended up in this small village. There was no denying that there was very little to speak of here, but I found peace in that nothingness. I couldn't have been more blessed that such a kind man had found me and welcomed me into his village. The village ran entirely on its own crops and livestock. They had no currency, merely bartered amongst themselves. Coming from a merchant's family, everything felt so new. I'd never plowed a large plot of land, milked a cow, or used a loom before. At first I wasn't sure what to think, being such a departure from my lifestyle in the capital. But over time I grew more comfortable with my new life, and the people of the village started thinking of me as one of them. Come on, Giselle, come play with us! We're playing hide and seek today. Ken, sorry, I'm spinning yarn. You can do that later. Come play with us. Stop that. Don't pull on my skirt. Oh, alright. When you win. When I'm done with this, I'll join you. And no ditching. We'll be at the town square, okay? Got it. See you there.
The kids have taken quite a liking to you.
Amity. You think so?
They've been incredibly lively since you arrived. Children are more sensitive than adults.
Sensitive?
They're very perceptive of how others are feeling. If you begrudgingly play along, they'll pick up on that quite quickly. You like children. That's a wonderful thing. There's not a good woman in the world who dislikes children.
Why, thank you. I don't think it's so much that I like them, as I'm kind of like a big kid myself. I genuinely enjoy hide and seek, but that's not going to earn me any points. I like kids too. Watching them gives me faith that this world has a bright future. A bright future? I never looked at them that way. They seem to like you quite a bit too, Amity.
Thanks. Though I'd rather give my affection to my own kids.
Oh, you have children?
Oh, heavens no. I thought that was obvious enough. I'm talking about the future.
I see. But knowing you, Amity, I'm sure you'll find someone right for you and have the kids of your own in no time.
It's not that easy, sadly. Even in such a small village, there are no ladies who take interest in me.
You don't give yourself enough credit. I'm fully confident you'll find someone soon enough.
Do you really think so?
Absolutely.
Then perhaps you could be that person.
Pardon?
I won't pressure you into it, of course. But I think it'd be marvelous to have you in my life in a bigger way.
But it's a little soon for me to think about settling down like that.
It is pretty sudden, I admit. Take all the time you need to consider it.
All right. I have to go play with the kids now.
Have fun.
I wonder if he really meant it. Amity is a nice fellow, and I'm sure living here would be wonderful. But I can't help feeling something isn't right here. Why am I thinking about him now of all times? That man has no redeemable qualities, not one. As it turned out, Amity was serious about his proposition, and he brought it up every time we ran into each other. Unable to give him an answer, I found myself constantly apologizing to him. Soon, winter gave way to spring. On a day when the air still had a brisk winter bite, and budding seedlings battled to break through the earth, the seams holding the village together began to come loose.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh. That day, the village men were gathered in the square talking. They all had stern looks on their faces. It was clear that something had happened. I obviously couldn't stick my head in, so I waited until they were done and caught Amity. While it was rather awkward, I was still more comfortable asking him for information than anyone else.
Actually.
With a dejected look on his face, he started explaining.
A lord found out about this village.
What?
And he said he's going to place this land under his rule, meaning he'll start collecting taxes. In addition, he's also demanding we pay 5 years' worth of back taxes for our unauthorized use of the land.
What? That's ridiculous.
Yes, it most certainly is. We obviously don't have the means to pay 5 years' taxes. There's no reason for him to take over this village at all. We're completely isolated from the surrounding area after all. But if we resist, he could send soldiers. It doesn't matter how absurd his claim to the village is. We have no choice but to comply.
That's terrible. What are we going to do then?
What we're going to do as the Lord demands. The 5 years' taxes will have to be paid in installments. Some of the men suggested we abandon the land and find somewhere else, but it would take time to cultivate the land and plant new crops. It's no trivial task. We'll just have to make do with these changes. We'll use more of the land to grow and try to be more efficient. Will you help in the fields?
Of course. This village is my home now too.
Thank you, Giselle. It'll be difficult, but if we all pitch in, I'm sure we can get through this.
I thought the same thing. If we all work together, we could make it through the rough patch. But the collection of taxes brought more than just a burden for everyone to share. It brought emotional strain and conflict to the village too.
Your family has more hands to work the fields. I have a sickly child. You expect me to work any harder than he is? I know you're hiding grain in your cellar. You have more than us. Let us keep a little grain. You have more. No, you have more. You both have more than us.
When their comfortable lives fell under attack, the villagers' top priority became their own property. The cooperation was only temporary, and before long everyone became a threat. The negative energy only built on itself, its growth accelerating like a boulder rolling down a hill, and it wasn't long before their sights fell on me, the outsider.
Uh-oh. Come on, get moving.
Ow! Stop that! Why are you doing this?
I'll stop once you've told us everything.
told you everything. What? One morning, a man dragged me from my house and took me to the square. There, the entire rest of the village was gathered, all eyes on me. What? What's this about?
Oh, don't play stupid. We all know it was you.
What was me?
The thief.
Amity? From the crowd appeared someone I knew quite well. The ever-affable village representative.
Yeah.
The man who saved my life. But in his eyes now
I thought you were better than that.
was contempt, anger, scorn. So many different shades of negativity. I recognized what I saw in his glare immediately, as someone who had been subjected to those looks before. But why? For what reason was he looking at me like that? I couldn't make sense of what was happening, so I just stood there stupefied.
There's been a rise in reports of people having things stolen lately. This village is too small to attract bandits, though. Since the Lord now demands we pay him taxes, even the smallest item laws can have a dramatic impact on the family's living conditions. What you've done is no joke.
Wait just a second. I haven't stolen anything. Why do you think
You've been seen in the act.
What?
So long as there's testimony against you, your guilt is assured.
Who says they saw me? I swear I didn't do anything. They're obviously lying.
You're the one who's lying. You've been playing us for fools the whole time. Everything was fine until you showed up. We managed not to get found out until you showed up.
No, that's not my fault.
Giselle, apologize to the whole village and return what you've taken.
Amity, don't you believe me?
There are multiple witnesses. Several different people saw you stealing. I've known these people long enough to be family, and I trust them like family too. They're not liars.
But no, they're framing me. I didn't steal anything, I swear.
Framing you? Now you want to put this on us, woman? Unbelievable. Have you forgotten we welcomed you into our village?
Amity, please believe me. You of all people should believe me.
You've been avoiding me of late, haven't you? Because you had something to hide, correct?
No,
What other reason could you have to avoid me?
Why? How can he say these things? Why won't he believe me?
Now return the things you've stolen.
I can't! I never stole anything! How am I supposed to return something I don't have?
I see. So you've already moved the stolen goods. She said she doesn't have them anymore, folks. How should we deal with this?
Rough her up until she talks. Yeah, she's not getting off that easy. Give us back our property.
Bro!
Why is this happening to me? The harsh new rulership has driven these people mad. I need to get away from this village, quick.
Restrain her!
No! Get your hands off me!
Have you forgotten everything we've done for you? All that matters is that you don't have to suffer, is that it?
I didn't do anything!
Take her to my house. We'll make her tell us everything.
No! Stop! You've all gone mad! Please come to your senses! With men on all four sides of me, I was dragged into Amity's house. He sat coolly in a chair, and they shoved me onto my knees before him.
I'll ask you this one more time, Giselle. Where did you put the things you stole?
And I'll keep giving you the same answer. I didn't take anything from anyone. Please believe me.
Do you swear? With God as your witness?
I do. I swear with all my heart.
You don't actually believe her, do you, Amity? She not only sold us out to a lord, she's now threatening to make our lives downright impossible.
Again, it's just a coincidence. Listen to me, Amity.
Thus said the Lord of hosts, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She has lied, she has stolen, she has betrayed her fellow man.
Why are you doing this, Amity? You were such a good man.
I'm deeply disappointed in you, Giselle. As much as I don't want to do this, I have to get the truth from you.
Amity! Ah, of course. Why didn't I see it? I'm still just an outsider to them. Why would he believe a stranger's words over the word of the village? His family.
The water.
What? The man said a wooden well bucket on the floor in front of me. It wasn't clean water from the well, though, but grimy, murky wastewater. I reflexively turned my head away from the stench, but a man behind me grabbed me by the hair. And before I had the chance to realize what was happening, the world around me went brown.
What the? What?
I struggled with all my might to break free, but my arms were tied behind my back, and I didn't have the strength to overpower the man holding my head down. Reflexively gasping for air, the stream of filthy water poured into my mouth.
Okay, what is this fetish shit all of a sudden, dude? What the fuck? Like, the rape stuff was one thing. That was like, okay, shock factor. This is just fucking weird. Pull her out. We get nothing if she dies. Put her back in. And keep at it until she decides she's ready to talk.
No!
How unsightly. I'm not even gonna. And to think I ever considered marrying this woman. We can stop whenever you want, Giselle. You just have to tell us the truth. This is like fucked up on a whole nother level, dude. Oh my god. Oh god.
Please. Stop! I was given no time to rest. My head shoved into the bucket, then pulled out just long enough for me to steal a breath before going back in. Over and over again. Not a person in that room objected to the abuse I was receiving. I had prayed for a good harvest with these people. They had taught me how to use a loom, something I had never touched before. We'd laughed together, lived together. They were normal people. Perfectly ordinary, kind, helpful, friendly people. Not at all cruel or inhumane. But now, they burned with a frenzy that overshadowed all my memories of them. And every gargle, gasp, and grunt that they got from me fueled that fire. Dozens of eyes laced with madness stared down upon me, rejoicing at my suffering. My consciousness was slipping away from me. I thought I could hear laughing and chattering, but it all passed through my ears as mere noise, nothing I could make sense of.
Stay with me. Oh, thank goodness. You're awake.
Wait, what was I just doing? Right. I was in the forest, on the verge of death. Then Amity found me and...
We almost lost valuable manpower there. We were just discussing what to do about you, Giselle, and we decided to make you village property.
No, he didn't save me.
If you agree to work for us, we'll put this whole nasty mess behind us. You may be worthless in the fields and terrible with the loom, but there's plenty you can help with.
What are you going to make me do?
You like to get your hands dirty. And considering I found you half dead in the forest, I doubt the rest of you is any cleaner.
Amity.
It seems we've come to an agreement. I'll keep watch over her starting today, to make sure she stays in line and doesn't steal anything else.
Dirty stays in line. The way They're looking at me. They didn't have to spell it out. No, anything but that. Please have mercy.
If you're begging for mercy, that means you've done something wrong. Let's see. There is one way, Giselle.
What?
Give back what you stole, naturally. But if you're going to insist that's not possible, then bring us something of equal value. And if you can't do that, then your life belongs to the village.
The men were cackling. They knew I couldn't do it, and they were enjoying watching me squirm.
Take your pick, Giselle.
Something of equal value. If I can get that, then he'll set me free. In that moment, a little bit of darkness bubbled up in my heart. Something maleficent was whispered in my ear.
If you're in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. There's a village not far from here. Trade it for food, then make your way to a larger town.
I think I know where you can get something worth money. The mansion in the forest has some fairly valuable furniture in it. Oh God. When did I become... You can steal some of that to sell for good money. Such a despicable woman.
You mean the cursed mansion? You expect us to go there? Are you out of your mind? Anyone who goes near that house is killed by the witch's curse.
There is no witch living there. There is no curse.
Giselle, what do you know about that mansion?
I lived there for a while. Well, for a month.
You what?
The son of a noble lives there. He's human, and he's alone.
A noble? What's a noble boy doing this far from the city?
I presumed he was banished there. I was sent to the mansion from the capital to act as his servant. There's plenty of value in the house. Shelves lined with books. There should be more than enough to pay the Lord 5 years worth of taxes.
Is what you're saying true?
I would not lie. As bewilderment spread throughout Amity's house, I was unable to look at anything but the floor. I couldn't stop trembling. To protect myself, I'd sold out Michael.
And you swear there's just a single man living in that house?
Yes, it's only him.
Alright. If it turns out you're lying, you'll pay. Okay, everyone, you heard her. Tell all the young men to get ready. We're going up to the mansion in the forest. And just to be safe, make sure everyone brings something they can use as a weapon. And you, Giselle, you're coming with us. You'll be leading the way. Listen to me. Don't think about trying to run.
Right.
Jesus, this is so fucked up. What the fuck? What the actual fuck is happening?
On the cusp of springtime, I found myself trekking through the dreary forest I had thought I would never set foot in again. How had I ended up back here? How come I could never manage to avoid getting myself in these situations? And who would have guessed that my reason for returning to the mansion would be diluted? I prayed for God to show even a little mercy and ensure Michael wasn't around, though I knew the chances of that happening were almost zero. After several hours of walking, we broke through the thick woods and the mansion appeared before us. Like its surroundings, the house was bleak and uninviting. Even the midday sun seemed disinterested in shining its light upon it. Despite, on the surface, there not being much of anything impressive about it, the entire mob stood speechless before its overwhelming presence. But the men had weapons, and they were fueled by avarice, which gave them the courage to approach this place they normally wouldn't.
Door won't open. I think it's barred from the inside. It would seem someone really does live in this cursed place. I am honestly surprised. Even more so that it's not a witch, but just a noble. The door's old. We could break it down. Yeah, let's bust it down!
Hold on, there's no need to be barbaric. Did you even consider knocking on the door like normal people? You sound like a band of thieves.
That's something else coming from you. Who do you think proposed this plan, Giselle? You. Alright, men, you ready for lives of luxury? Break down that door.
Stop it.
It's the damn nobles who want to make our lives hard. They deserve to be robbed. Break it. Break down the door.
Please stop this.
Break it down. Break it down. Break it down.
Stop.
Oh, shit.
All their repressed emotions detonated. They battered down the door again and again and again, and in a few minutes' time it was on the verge of collapse. They shouted and cheered and hooted like madmen, as my peaceful life came crumbling down around me. Growing light-headed from the anxiety, I squeezed my eyes shut, unable to bear it any longer, when the deep groan of a door opening echoed through the forest.
It would seem you're not aware whose house you're trying to break into.
The world went silent, like time had come to a stop. No one could manage to say a word, only stare at the man who had appeared before them from within the mansion.
Surely you know what this place is called.
Beneath the dazzling midday sun, he had bone-chillingly alabaster skin and long, nearly translucent pale hair.
So surely you came prepared for whatever you would find.
And his eyes were like two blazing infernos staring out across the mob.
Oh shit. A demon.
Someone muttered, probably unconsciously. He did indeed look like something not of this world.
It's a demon! The rumors about this place were true! A cursed demon lives here!
Demon? Him? Michael? No, he's not cursed.
Indeed, I am cursed. The witch's curse is real. I have inherited it. It's in its entirety as well as her purpose. A witch, a demon, the spirit impure. Call me whatever you wish, for the truth shall not change. I carry within me an eternal curse. Behold my flesh, pale as the moon. No red blood flows beneath this skin as it does yours. Behold my hair, utterly devoid of color, offered up to the devil as part of our pact. Behold these crimson eyes, a symbol of the lifeblood spilt at my hands. I shall bring calamity upon you as the witch of legend. Never-ending famine, plague, catastrophe, suffering for generations, until the moment of your death ye shall regret never coming near this place. No! Have mercy! We were just... It was that woman. She brought us here, tempted us with promises of wealth, deceived us, told us to pillage this house. We're innocent.
Amity!
Please have mercy on us. Give it to me then, as an offering.
Absolutely! She's yours! Torture her however you please!
I have one more condition. You never come near this house again. If you so much as consider it, you will all die by my curse.
I swear it! We won't return!
Rod, get out of here!
Bro, this is... Oh my god.
Without so much as a glance back, the villagers scrambled into the forest, and Amity, the man who had rescued me that night, went right along with them. Is there kindness in the world? I wasn't sure what to think anymore.
Don't think I'm helping you.
His voice rained down on me, but I couldn't lift my head. There was such a gaping void in my chest. I had no idea what questions I should be asking anymore. What I should be angry about. What I should be sad about. Not even the first clue.
Look at me. Look at me, Giselle. Tell me, is it true you returned to the mansion to plunder it? That you brought those men here, to rob me of my valuables? Answer me, Giselle!
Yes, it's true. I persuaded them to steal from you.
Are you really so desperate for money that you resort to looting? Just how low will you go? Not only did you seduce my father, not only did you go digging around for information about me, you brought a mob to this house. And they were armed too. Were you trying to get me killed? Answer me, Giselle! Not even going to defend yourself. Your scheme failed, so you're retreating into silence. Oh, for God's sake, you sicken me. I'm done with you. I'm done! Leave this place and never show your face here again!
As he shouted at me, I stared into his fiery red eyes. A somewhat inappropriate thought crossed my mind. Huh, so he can get emotional like everyone else. And my heart, stripped raw and cast out to sea, finally sunk deep enough to be crushed by the pressure. Me.
What?
If you want me gone, then kill me!
You can do that.
You can do that, can't you? You can use your curse to kill me, can't you? Then do it, right here. Use your power, take my life. And if you don't want to do that, stab me with your knife. Kill me, kill me, kill me!
What?
I'm done! I can't take it! I'm through with this whole world! No one will believe anything I say! No one cares one bit about how I feel! They just walk all over me laughing! Why? Tell me why! Why is this happening to me? I never stole anything!
What are you talking about?
I tried my best to look happy. I thought everyone would work out if I could keep smiling. I believed I would make things better. But nothing ever got better. What did I ever do? Tell me, what did I do?
What did? But you...
All I ever did was believe. Try my best to survive. To always wear a smile. But if everything's going to be my fault, and if I have to deal with that for the rest of my life, then I'm done. I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live in this world anymore.
Calm down, please. I don't follow what you're saying. My understanding is that you desired money, so you brought that mob. And before that, you used my father.
You wouldn't believe me even if I told you the real story. You'll take your family's word over mine. You don't have any idea what I went through there. How hard it was just to keep myself together.
What?
I never wanted riches. All I wanted was a decent enough wage to allow my family to live comfortably. That's all I wanted. But that man, he used my family against me. He made me... forced me to... He raped me.
What?
Again and again. No matter how much I resisted, he wouldn't stop. Again and again. He threatened me. Beat me. Cut me with a knife. Over and over and over again.
What? My father raped you?
No one would believe me. I did nothing wrong. You don't believe me either, do you? So I'm done. I don't want this body anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. I can't take it anymore. Help me, please. Set me free. Kill me. Kill me already. Use your curse and kill me. Kill me. Ah!
Give me a moment. I need some time to process this.
You can't do it, can you? Then kill me already! Kill me! Kill me now! Kill me! Damn it!
Give me time so we can talk this through. I want to hear everything from the beginning. Inside. Let's go inside and talk. The light hurts my eyes. Okay. Oh, do we stop though? Do we stop though? Oh my god. Okay, let's go on a little bit more. That was a door. I might have best let stay shut. Not knowing the truth would have been so much easier. I wouldn't have been made to shudder in disgust, hearing about the crimes of my own family. But if I hadn't opened that door, I would have lost everything. That day, after far too long, I finally let myself see the person in Giselle. Giselle didn't recover for some time after I managed to get her inside. Unsure what else I could do for her, I had her sit before the fireplace and waited in silence as she sobbed. I had no idea what one was supposed to say to someone who was crying. Was it normal to offer them a warm drink? I didn't know. I did know I needed to reflect on the things she had said outside and try to make sense of them, and from there calm myself down and prepare for the conversation we were to have, as unpleasant as I was sure it would be. A considerable amount of time later, Giselle's sobbing grew to a stop, an oppressive silence stepping in to take its place. For far longer than was comfortable, the only sound we heard was the gentle crackling of the fire. I had to say something. I knew that, but what I didn't know was how to begin. I knew nothing about having an honest, face-to-face discussion with someone about the things they were thinking and feeling, but that didn't change anything. I had to do it, even if down that road lay truths I would be happier not seeing. Giselle, could you please tell me what you did what was done to you at my family's home? How you ended up coming to this mansion, and what happened after you left? I would like to know everything, from start to finish.
Will you believe what I tell you? You never so much as gave me the time of day before. And I very much doubt you will find what I have to say agreeable. Will you still believe me, even then? Believe my word, a stranger's word, over your family or the people of the village?
I cannot yet say. I must hear what you have to say to make that decision.
I suppose that might be better than you saying you'll believe me unconditionally. All right, I'll tell you everything. Just know that nothing I say is a lie.
Understood. Giselle methodically recounted her tale for me. She told me of how she accepted an offer from the Bollingers to work as an abigail to earn money for her family, of how my father, Antonin, had other plans for her, of the things he did to her. She spoke dryly, simply putting words to each event, one after the other. I had already seen how she had felt deep down, though. I'd heard her pain screams, which were undoubtedly genuine. I didn't think she was trying to deceive me. That was the sound of old wounds being torn open, and even I could see that. Or perhaps my own experiences were what allowed me to see it. Regardless, I had realized too late. I should have seen it sooner. She described it all mechanically to remain detached from what had happened to her, to protect herself. Of that I had no doubts. Still, the things she told me were almost unbearable, and I had a difficult time accepting them. What was I supposed to do? When I learned my father was a rapist, how was I supposed to react to that revelation? What was I supposed to think about the fact that his blood flowed through me? I repulsed myself.
Do you want all the details?
What do you mean?
Of the wounds he gave me. I still have scars from the things he did. If you don't believe me, I can show them to you.
No, that won't be necessary.
I see. That's a relief. I don't think I could have handled that right now.
I hadn't turned down her offer for her sake. I only did so because I didn't think I could take any more. I averted my eyes to protect myself. Why had I taken my mother's word, brushing aside everything Giselle had said and done? I knew good and well my mother was no longer in her right mind, so why had I ever thought her letter the truth? Why had I been unable to think rationally? There were, I believe, several factors. My childhood, my past, the witch's whispers, and above all, my own character. Consumed with distrust for everything, I had to face it now. To open my eyes once more, to look at everything I'd pretended away until now. I was not completely blameless for her suffering after all. Please continue, if you will.
I left off at the point where the mistress discovered that what was happening, I believe. I was under this mansion to atone for my sins.
Sins that she didn't even commit.
It was decided I would be sent here rather than being executed, which is what the mistress wanted. At first, I assumed it would be essentially a private prison. But in the carriage on the way here, I was given a letter.
A letter? From whom?
It didn't say, but your father was the one who ordered me here, so I would guess it was him. The letter was very concise, simply explaining that there was someone already there. The Bollinger's youngest child. It didn't go into any more details than that, but it did ask me to look after you.
Do you still have the letter?
I don't. The coachman took it back after I was finished. Thinking back on it now, that was rather strange of him to do. It was just a harmless letter.
It was anything but.
What?
It wasn't my father who wrote that letter. He believes me to be dead, so he would have sincerely thought he was banishing you to an empty house in a remote forest. The writer couldn't risk leaving anything that might suggest I was still alive.
Then who?
My brother, I believe. Either Didier or George's, but I would guess Didier.
Your brother? Why would he?
I don't know. I can't imagine why he would write such a letter, or why he would want to tell you about me.
I don't believe he had any ill intentions, at least. I mean, he asked me to look after you. That makes it sound like he's concerned about you.
Then why doesn't he stay in contact? Why does he never respond to my letters? It's a bit late to suddenly start being concerned. No, never mind that now. Please tell me the rest.
Alright.
Giselle resumed the story from the day she fled the mansion, terrified by my behavior. She seemed to be putting a bit more emotion in her tone of voice now, perhaps because she could see I was more interested in this part. There was a deep sadness on her face as she described that night in the rain, listening to the thunder, when she gave up on living, and I knew I had caused it. She then told me of the time she spent in the nearby village, how at first life had seemed wonderful, but but in time it had come crumbling down. Naturally, she wouldn't be here to tell me this if nothing had happened there. When she was through with her tale, Giselle let out a long, heavy sigh, as though she'd been holding it in for some time. I thought I could hear just a faint trembling in the air she exhaled.
That is everything. Do you believe me? If you don't, if you still think I'm deceiving you, then I won't argue with you. That's fine. If that's the case, please just kill me.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner?
She tried, bro. She fucking tried. Well, actually, she didn't tell him that. She wasn't trying, but what I'm trying to get at is that, like, clearly she didn't want to fucking talk about it, bro.
I know I wasn't very open to anything you said, but if that day, when I found you in my room, you had told me I was mistaken, that the sin belonged to my father, it might not have turned out like this.
The knife.
What?
You were holding a knife. I can't handle blades anymore. Ever since what happened, they scare me to death. Just the sight of one in someone's hand, and I start thinking they're going to use it on me. I can't help it. I start shaking uncontrollably, growing faint of breath. The world goes white. I can't even form words. There's nothing I can do.
Ah, now I finally see. She was grimacing in pain. The day the package arrived when you knocked my hand away.
Because I was scared. Because it reminded me of that time.
I'd assumed she was simply jumpy from a guilty conscience. I felt nauseous realizing I'd been pouring a constant stream of salt onto her unmendable wounds. What a damned fool I was.
Why did she get so upset at me? Why did you have to point a knife at me?
I didn't want you snooping. If you meant to sell information about me, I thought I had to do anything in my power to stop you.
I'm still not convinced it was necessary. I was unarmed. I couldn't fight back. You didn't need a knife. I have nothing left anymore. So I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. You're a jerk. What you did was inexcusable. You may not have hurt me physically, but you still hurt me. Humans are frail creatures. They wound easily. Apologize.
What?
Apologize to me. I said apologize.
I'm sorry.
Again. Pour your heart into it. Convince me you mean it.
I'm sorry.
Again. Once more. Get down on your knees and shout it from your gut.
I'm so very sorry. Was that a laugh?
Jeez. You're such a strange man.
Strange? You told me to do it.
Nothing's going like I thought it would. I figured even if we talked, you would just deny everything I said. I didn't think you'd actually listen to me. But you did. You listened, and you looked quite distressed by what you heard.
I looked distressed.
Oh yes, you sure did. I wish I'd had a mirror to show you. I'm sure you didn't want to believe what I said, but you didn't once accuse me of lying. You faced up to the truth and you apologized. I seem to have had the wrong impression of you as well. I didn't try seeing you for who you were, instead of letting myself believe you were someone to be afraid of. To be honest, I didn't like you very much.
The feeling was mutual. But for some reason, I don't feel that way now. Is it guilt?
I need to apologize to you too.
Apologize? For what?
I led the villagers here. I almost sold my soul to the devil. I tried to sell you out to save myself. For that, I'm truly sorry.
I don't understand.
What? Do I need to get down on my knees too?
No, that's not what I meant. The blame falls on the village for falsely accusing you of stealing. You were a conventional scapegoat for the real thieves. They planned to take advantage of you from the start. That Amity was probably in on it as well, to get back at you for rejecting his proposal. Plus, giving the village a single target to let out their frustrations on would, in a way, help unify them. He used you to meet that end. In order to escape from their trap, you told them about me. But this was after I had threatened you, causing you to flee from this mansion. You have nothing to apologize for.
Still, I still feel really bad about it. So, I'm sorry anyway.
You're unexpectedly stubborn.
But now that we've both apologized to each other, we can call everything square.
Square?
Square. We were both in the wrong. So we apologized and we forgave each other.
She gave a little smile, but all I could do was stare at her, brow furrowed in perplexity, like I was looking at some bizarre Fantasyland creature. The weight of our crimes was not equal. What I had done to her was so much worse. Furthermore, I am Antonin's son. His blood flows through me. Can you honestly say you don't find me revolting? That you're willing to forgive me for that? I didn't think I would be able to. If I were her, my grudge would extend to all of my family, everyone I had ever come in contact with.
I can. Although, you don't need forgiveness for being his son. Being related to someone doesn't mean you're responsible for their sins. It wouldn't be fair to blame you for that.
You're curious.
What? Curious? About what?
No, not that curious. You're a strange creature.
I'm human, you know.
Yes, I know you're human. You're making me lightheaded.
Is it a medical emergency?
That's quite the leap in logic.
You know, I was at my lowest just a little bit ago, and now I'm laughing again. It's odd. I never expected I would recover at all.
I was just as surprised as her. She'd been through hell, and she had more than enough reason to despise me, to shower me with vitriol. But instead, she was smiling. And even more unexpectedly was the fact that I felt relieved to see it.
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and end it off right there. Okay, end it off right there. And back to the entrance. Holy mother of mackerel. What a fucking episode that was, people. This poor girl. Oh my god. Not only was she struggling to survive and support her family, not only was she given false hope and then blackmailed and raped over and over again by a guy who sexually violated her, physically assaulted, abused, and violated her, but then falsely accused by the lady of the house and being labeled as an adulterer to then be cast out of the fucking city. But then she was also sent to this remote mansion where this fucking grade A jerkface lived, subjected to his fucking accusations. Then eventually, you know, everything comes to a boiling point when he pulls a knife on her, triggering her fucking trauma. She runs out of the house, fully prepared to just die in the rain. Found, given another false sense of hope of being oh, okay, well, this is a nice village. Maybe this is where I get my start in life. But then, you know, she's fucking accused of stealing. Nobody listens to her. Everybody turns their back on her. She's fucking waterboarded with a bucket of shit. And then forced to sell out Michael, which she never wanted to do. And then when she gets back to Michael, I mean, he starts fucking wailing on her as well, just causing her to completely break down. The fact that she's gone through all of this shit and somehow is still coming out of it smiling and laughing is crazy. I mean, I really don't blame her for being at the point where she's begging him to kill her. Like, I don't blame her for that at all. This poor girl has been through so much fucking terrible shit, and yet somehow she is still just finding these things to cling on to, finding ways to cling on to hope. Wow, that was, I mean, just her. Dude, there have been some pretty fucked up, like, stories throughout this thing. You know, we've had some, like, fucking yandere incest. We got some fucking Beauty and the Beast, like, tragic twists going on. We got some fucking, fairy tale-esque shit of, like, oh, forbidden romance that ends in death. Like, a Romeo Juliet type thing where, oh, well, I'm gonna die with you, but oh no, I didn't actually die. You got all kinds of shit going on. But her story has undoubtedly been the darkest, most fucked up, most fucking genuinely revolting to sit here and, like, hear ever. But that's gonna be it for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video and comment. Let me know in the comments section below what you'd like to see me play next. If you enjoyed this video as a series, if you enjoyed this video or any other videos or series on my channel, then I highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified when one of those videos comes out. That's gonna be it from me for this time. Expect a follow-up to this episode really soon. I have no idea how much longer we have in this game, but also expect a lot more just in general videos. We're gonna start a whole slew of new series now that we're finally hopefully wrapping up House and Fata Morgana, which I have a feeling we're gonna be going on with this one for a little bit longer. But again, we've got Claned done. We have a clean slate here. But yeah, that's it for me.